What's up, y'all? This is your boy Brooklyn, and I'm back with another video, man. And before I get started, I just want to thank everybody that is tuned into my channel. Anybody that is like, comment, share, subscribe, watch my videos. I got a lot of great content on there. I just did an interview with Big X the Plug. Man, that's doing great. He was super cool. I'm going to do a concept breakdown for him. I also just did B5, the group. Cindy Winery, man, and they were super cool. They talked about everything from like Diddy to, where they're at in their new career right now. And, I knew B5 from, when I was young. So it was kind of it was a cool moment, like a cool moment from my childhood. So make sure you guys check those out. They're also on my page, along with a lot of other breakdowns. And so welcome to Brooklyn Media. Now, today I want to talk about Young Thug, man. And one thing over the weekend that happened that was big, happened Halloween Day, was that Young Thug was free from jail or prison. I get that confused, but Young Thug is free. All right. And I know this whole RICO case that they tried to pin on Young Thug forever has just been a fucking mess. I think a lot of people knew that eventually Thug would get off. We didn't know how he would get off. But we just saw, throughout the trial that it was some shit. Like, the DA never had their shit together. So I want to talk about the Young Thug case. So he did take a guilty plea on a few of the charges. And that really helped in his favor because I know when he let the judge kind of decide the rest of his fate. But I know the judge was pleased that he did, take accountability on saying, okay, yes, I did this, I did that, on a guilty verdict. So, I think she kind of cut him a break in that sense. So I want to get into his charges and his actual deal that he got. So they gave him a total of 40 years, which is fucking crazy. 40 years, I would have passed out. But the first 5 years were to be served in prison, but they were commuted to time served. So that means the time that he would spend in prison, he doesn't have to spend that in prison. They're commuting the time that he was already, in custody during the whole legal battle. He doesn't have to use that. That time goes towards the time he would have been in prison. Say Young Thug would have been out on bail. If he would have been out on bail, then he would have had to go in for, 5 to X amount of years. You know what I'm saying? Then they gave him 15 years of probation. So after they've said, okay, you have to do 5 years, but those 5 years go to the time you've already done, throughout this trial, you have 15 years of prison. So for people that may not know, say you're in jail, right? You do 5 years. Now, once you get out, you're on probation for 15 years. So you're out, but you're out on stipulations. And if you go outside of those stipulations, then you will be back in jail. So that goes back to, another stipulation of his deal was, a 20-year backload. So, let's say Young Thug gets out on probation. Let's say, Young Thug is out on probation right now, right? He's 15 years probation. He violates the probation. He has to do an automatic 20 years. Like, no hands, like your ass is in jail for 20 years and you're not getting out. So that was his charges. And, if he goes the full 15-year probation without any bumps, bruises, anything, he doesn't violate probation at all, then that whole 20-year backload that's mandatory for him to do after the 15 years of probation, that'll be thrown out. And Young Thug will be a free man walking, no shackles and no chains. Now, the prosecutors, which is, the DA, the feds of Atlanta, they wanted to send this Young Thug to 45 years and have him do 25 years in prison and then the remaining 20 on probation. So, if they were going hard, but to be honest, for somebody that didn't have their shit together in court, for somebody that, you know, witnesses were flipping here and there, y'all didn't have y'all shit together, and y'all saying that y'all want this man to do 45 years and do 25 years off the bat is fucking crazy. And I mean, the case, each judge, there were two judges in the case. Both the judges called the DA out on their bullshit plenty of times, and you know what I'm saying, got on their ass about them not having their shit together. They had so many people flip. The trial was just a fucking mess, and it made the DA look like they were amateur rookies. And I mean, they got embarrassed, and I don't blame them. Mind you, I'm the type of person, I don't do violence. I don't like none of that ghetto shit. I don't like the hood shit. I'll do some ratchet shit. Don't get me wrong. I'll do some ratchet shit. All right. But I don't like the hood shit, and I don't support anybody killing anybody or anybody calling hits on anybody. But when you cannot prove that somebody did this, and the DA looks so fucking trash, Young Thug didn't deserve it. Now, if they were able to get on their shit and actually prove that this man did this, he was the kingpin of this organization, and he did all these things that they've accused him of, then I would be like, I mean, well, shit, Young Thug put himself in that situation. He got to pay the, you know what I'm saying? He got to do the time because he did the crime. But when you can't paint that picture for the actual judge or the jury, because it was so many times that this trial was going to end up in a mistrial because the DA did not have their shit together. So for y'all to ask for 25 years off the bat, and you can't prove that this man did this without a shadow of a doubt, with mistrial hanging over your head the whole trial, I don't think Young Thug deserved any amount of that time that the DA was asking for. And shout out to the judge, because the judge was fair. The judge understood that it was some bullshit, and the judge cut Young Thug ass a fucking break. He cut him a break. I mean, come on now, 40 years. Mandatory 5 years, but that's commuted to time served, 15 years of probation. I think that's sweet. Because again, I'm moving to Alaska if I'm Young Thug. I'm out the fucking way. I'm out the way. Like, you not going to see me. You ain't going to hear from me. No, I don't want to talk to you. If you ain't my mama, my kids, my baby mama, I don't want nothing to do with you. I am a new man. Fuck that gang shit. Fuck that other shit. You know what I'm saying? You won't see me. I'm John Cena in this bitch. You can't see me, like dead ass. Like, you can't see me. And I don't want to see you. Because 15 years of probation is literally prison. It's self-governed prison, if we're being 100%. You know, you're in charge of your own destiny. So, Young Thug, you run a fucking red light, it's a wrap for you. I wouldn't drive my 15 years. You won't see me nowhere. Just how they said Gunna, I'm yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. I'm yes ma'am and yes sir and every damn day. I don't even want somebody to think that I'm getting out of line with them, because I'm not going back to prison. And that's point blank period. I mean, we seen what the trial did to Thug. Like, that shit literally made Thug bigger. He was in there, you know, that prison shit didn't look sweet. You know what I'm saying? And I also think that Young Thug, he should go to like a retreat or something like that. You know, get himself right, get off the drugs, because he is going to be subjected to random drug screens. And I would hate for him to have to go to prison because he slipped up. You know, we're all human and we slip up, especially when people deal with substance abuse. You know, this is stuff that people rap about in their music. If I was Young Thug, I would say, hey, can I go to some retreat or something like that for a year or two, you know, just to get his shit together. But I think Young Thug's dad spoke after it and was like, nah, he's getting back to it. I just saw a video of Young Thug on FaceTime with T.I., and he was smiling and happy. So it looks like Thug is gonna get back to the music, and hopefully he's spending time with his family right now. Now, upon his release, because he was released hours later, after, you know, he pled guilty to a couple of charges and the judge let him off on 15 years probation. He had to leave Atlanta within 48 hours. And I want to get into his conditions, because these conditions, I mean, while they're sweet, it's still like I said, a self-governed jail sentence. So he has to leave Atlanta for 10 years. He can't go back to Atlanta unless it's a wedding, a funeral, a graduation, a serious illness of an immediate family. So no friends. So, it can't be his homie on Cleveland Ave or nothing like that. It has to be an immediate family member. His kids, his mama, his daddy, his grandma, his grandpa. And he has to arrive in Atlanta 24 hours prior, and he has to leave literally 48 hours after. He can't stay and linger. So it's a quick boom, boom. Like, I'm here for this event. I can come grieve with y'all, or I can come celebrate real quick. But after that, gots to go. He can't stay and linger. But Young Thug do got hella kids, so he damn near might be in Atlanta year round. So he also has to come to Atlanta 4 times a year to do anti-gang rallies and presentations. So that's, talking to kids, letting them know, hey, don't do this YSL shit. Hey, this is not that slime shit. You know what I'm saying? He got to speak extra proper. Just how they was reading them lyrics in the DA office. This is that slime shit, that YSL shit, that fucker 12 shit. He has to talk like that. And he has to let kids know, like, hey, don't do this shit, because y'all gonna end up just like me in a terrible situation, a terrible deal, and now I gotta get 15 years of my life and be self-governed. So he has to do that, anti-gang concerts. He could throw benefit concerts. I mean, when he did his whole his speech to the judge, he told the judge, hey, I do a lot of things for my community. I've done concerts and given $1 million to this charity. I've given $750,000 to this charity. I can do this. I can make that money. So I think that was good play for Young Thug. And I think it does show people like, hey, you can change your life. Like, the gang life ain't all that. Like, Young Thug was just a free walking man, and then now he has to do these stipulations of the government. And nobody wants to live their life like that. I'd be preaching that too. I'd be like, hey, you don't want to be like me. I'm a slave for 15 years. For 15 years, I am required to come here 4 times a year to speak to y'all. And if I don't, they're going to send my ass back to prison. Like, that's something that, kids will look at and be like, well, damn, I don't want to do this. I want to be able to travel and move how I want to move. I want to, I want to go here. I want to go there. And I don't want to have to listen to the government and the feds to tell me where I can and where I cannot be. So I think that's a nice stipulation, I guess. But still, it sucks. So he can't have any contact with any gang members. But the one thing that blew up was the fact that they specifically asked for him to be able to talk to Gunna and his brother. Now, a lot of people are like, Gunna's a snitch, Gunna's a snitch, Gunna's a snitch. And shit, Young Thug never said nothing out his mouth. Young Thug, Gunna was making money for YSL while Thug was locked up. Shit, at the end of the day, hopefully that whole snitch culture, all this, F Gunna shit just goes away. I mean, I was still listening to Gunna. I went to see Gunna on tour, and he was fucking amazing. We ain't heard from Lil Baby since Thug went to fucking prison. And Gunna and Thug was the duo that we all needed. And, Gunna is elevated, and Lil Baby has disappeared. So hopefully, if we hear some Gunna Thug music, or we see them together in a picture, or we see a tweet or anything like that, Gunna can get back to his regular life of not being judged for being a quote-unquote snitch, because again, Young Thug did ask to have communication with him. So for whatever communication that may be, whether it's music, whether it's just business obligations, hopefully that snitch narrative will leave hip-hop, because again, we've realized that there are snitches everywhere. There are informants everywhere, man. I haven't even gotten to talk about the Lil Durk case. I think that shit is I hate it for Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? They allegedly saying that somebody in his crew was a snitch. I mean, but again, Nicki said it in the damn song with 6ix9ine. You worry about snitches when the snitches in your camp. Like, niggas snitches everywhere. Niggas be working with rats. And rappers got to be more cautious about who they have around them and what they say around people, or even what they do, because again, you making all this bread, why are we still in the street? Why are we still dealing with street shit? There is no reason why you are a millionaire in the fucking streets. Let me be a fucking millionaire. You won't see me. I swear you won't see me. You won't know where I'm at. Other than my appearances and where I go, like, I'm not going back to the hood. Mind you, I'm not from the hood, so I don't know how it is, but that's just on the outside looking in. I'm like, listen, you know, I fuck with y'all. Y'all my people, you know what I'm saying? Throw y'all some bread, you know what I'm saying? Because I know niggas need it in the hood. But again, you will not see me actively calling shots. And again, we don't know if Thug did any of this shit, but he was caught up on a lot of shit. And if they were able to actually prove that he did this shit, then we wouldn't be here being like, yes, Thug free. A lot of people, you know, kind of allude to the fact that they feel like Thug did a lot of shit. It's just they couldn't catch him on it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It just so happens that the DA was shit. And I'm going to keep saying that the DA, y'all, was shit. And niggas is laughing at y'all. Again, nobody's happy that a quote-unquote killer is out on the loose. A nigga that's responsible for a lot of deaths. But the fact that y'all could not... prove that, we're all laughing at y'all. Literally. Ha ha, we're laughing at y'all. And also, Thug can't make any gang-related music. And do I think this is going to hurt Young Thug's career? No. I've said this, you know, on Twitter and, you know, just within talking to people. I think Thug is an alternative artist. You know, Thug can make any type of music. Thug has made rock music. Thug has made singing music. Thug has made love music. Thug has made street records. Thug has made pop records. You know, Thug has collabed with a lot of different people. And I don't think that street gang culture is all Young Thug is. I think we like Young Thug because he has the persona of a street nigga. We know he moves like a street nigga. And we know he comes from that background of a street nigga. But Thug's street nigga is not his full identity. And I even think, like, before he damn near got busted, he was changing his name. I forget what he was changing it to. But he was doing the whole rebrand. And I think, you know, him kind of, if he really wants to make a change and say, okay, I'm not going to rap about, because he doesn't have to. It's just like, you don't have to cuss in your music. You choose to cuss in your music. So you don't have to rap about slat, gang, YSL, shooting, killing, robbing. You don't have to. Because it's been proven that he's made music without rapping about gang culture. So again, that don't hurt nothing. Because again, Gunna ain't out here rapping about killing and robbing niggas. You know what I'm saying? Gunna makes great music. We love Gunna's music. So do I think that's gonna hurt Young Thug's career? Hell nah. Again, Young Thug is an alternative artist to me. Young Thug can make any type of music he wants. And people love Young Thug for that. Young Thug has changed the style up. Young Thug, Young Thug has gone through so many different phases in his career. I mean, when you look at his earlier work to his later work, it's very, very, very different. And the tape that he dropped prior to going to jail, I forget what it was. Was it the Punk album or whatever it was, the rock album? To me, I love that tape. That's probably one of his best tapes. And he wasn't on there talking about killing and all that shit, the whole album. And again, Young Thug was on SNL with Gunna. Like, that's as commercial as you can get. That's black and white people. So again, that's not going to hurt Thug. I think he'll be fine in the music sense. He don't have to say nothing gang related. So I'm cool with that. But I will say that Young Thug is a real street nigga. He held that shit down. He's the only person out of this trial that I can think of that said not a peep. He didn't say a word, nothing like that. The only thing he did at the end, he took that plea deal, but he said, hey, them guns, I'll take that charge. Hey, I'll take that charge. But this was not a gang. This was not that. And he stood firm on that. You know what I'm saying? And he let the judge determine whether or not she felt like he was, which, you know, she ultimately, you know, went on his side. Because, again, the DA could not prove it. Because, again, the DA was some shit. Y'all was some shit. Shit. So that's that. And again, I like the fact that Thug took accountability. I think that's another thing that the judge really that she really appreciated was, you know, he gave his little speech and he was like, look, I don't even want to see you. And if I see you, only time I want to see you is at a bar. Like, he told the judge, I just want to see you at a bar. That's it. I don't want to see you nowhere else other than us kicking it outside of the setting. And, you know, she was probably like, shit, I want to kick it with you too. Shit. You know, she like, shit, I'll get a drink with your ass. 15 years, go ahead. You can go home today. See you later, buddy. You know what I'm saying? And she liked the fact that he took accountability for his shit. So shout out to that judge, because I think that black man, he wouldn't have showed a lot of grace. I don't know. It just seemed like he had a chip on his shoulder. Even I feel like he just didn't want to be there. And just like a lot of people didn't want to be there. So, you know, she was trying to wrap that shit up. She like, look, the DA can't prove shit. The trial is a fucking mess. Mistrial is hanging over everybody's head. I'm just finna send him home. Fuck what the DA talking about. You getting 15 years probation, but if you fuck up, you doing 20 years. And that's perfectly fine. And, you know, everybody's glad to see him home. And I want to let y'all know, this is the last thing I want to talk about on this trial. Mariah the Scientist is about to be annoying as fuck. My homie went to go see her at Lotto's concert in New York. That was the day that he got released. He said she rushed through them motherfucking songs and she hopped her ass off, and she said she was getting on that jet. She said that prayer for Young Thug, and she said, sayonara suckers, I'm finna go home to dude. I'm finna go home. Fuck y'all. So Mariah the Scientist is about to be probably the most annoying person that we've ever heard of for the next couple months. I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully they stay together. She held Thug down while he was, you know, on trial, and, you know, he was always posting her pictures and shit like that. So hopefully it's a real love story. Hopefully she's not out here getting embarrassed. But other than that, man, just want to say Thug free, man. I mean, I love Thug's music. I always listen to Thug's music. I just know the music is going to get better. And that's the end of the video, man. So if you like the video, like, comment, share, subscribe. I want to know how you guys felt about the trial. I want to know how you guys feel about Young Thug being free. I want to know how you guys feel about Young Thug's new music and how he has to change up what he talks about, his affiliation with gangs. Does that really matter in the artist? Do people give a fuck about gang lyrics in the industry? Do we care about consuming that music? I mean, we've seen so many people get locked up behind it. You know, again, Dirk is facing charges because of an alleged murder for hire because they said he ain't slide for Vaughn. He done said so much shit in his music that said, nigga, I slid for that motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. So, you know, who knows? But until then, this is your boy Brooklyn Man with Brooklyn Media. Again, I got my interview with Big X the Plug live. I got my interview with B5 live. And I got a lot of other great interviews that are coming up. So make sure you guys stay tuned for Brooklyn Media, man. We're not doing nothing but elevating over here. And this your boy Brooklyn signing out. Peace.